Hi, I want to do a story time about the time I got caught in a tornado, like actually in a tornado when I was like a little kid. So I was still in South Carolina, obviously, and we do get a lot of tornadoes, I'm not gonna lie. And I was at my house, and my guardian or whatever, she was like, go outside and play. I was like, I don't feel like going outside. And she's like, go outside and play, or you're not gonna be able to play anymore. And I was like, okay. So I went outside. Apparently, it was a storm coming, and everyone knew it was a storm coming, but she just let me go outside and play. And I'm outside chilling, playing on my little tricycle, and it started getting windy. Luckily, I'm by like a street sign, and it starts getting really windy. It starts picking up and picking up and picking up. I start holding onto the street sign for dear life. Like, I run to it because like I was close to it, but I had to run the rest of the way. I run to it, and I'm like holding onto it for dear life. It like lifts me up. Like, the wind is so strong, it lifts me up. And like, you know when you're little and like the wind is strong and it can push you back? At first I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a strong storm, like a strong wind, like gust. No, like the freaking sky's getting like green, then gray, then black. It was crazy. I'm looking up, there's like debris, there's wind gusts everywhere. I'm like lifting off, I'm holding onto that thing for dear life. And whole time, like, I like was closing my eyes. I wanted to be over, but like I just kept on my eyes, and it felt like it was taking an eternity to stop. And like I'm literally like, it is like jet black outside. It is wind gusting. Like, I guess I was in like the eye of it because like it was dark. I'm holding to that thing for dear life. The thing is wobbling back and forth, wobble. It's like I don't know if you ever heard like wind hit like a street sign, but it makes that like that whistle noise. It was doing that. Like, it was like breaking apart. It was crazy. And then like all that was going on, and I'm like panicking, but like I can't breathe. Now I know why that was, but at the time I didn't know. I'm like, oh my god, the wind is too strong, I can't breathe. I'm a little kid, and I'm like hanging on to this thing for dear life. I swear I wish someone had a video of this, but this was way back in the day. Like, I'm just like, and then it's like, I don't know if this was just like the universe just loved me or something, because at the point where I could not hang on to that thing anymore, and it was like, it was bending over and back and over and back, and then I finally like can't hang on to it anymore, and like it kept being windy for a second, and then it just cleared out. When I tell you, everybody in the neighborhood ran out to get me. They thought I was like, you know, because they thought I was deleted. Because think about it, I'm out in the middle of a storm by myself at this yay big of an age. Like, I couldn't have been no more than 2 or 3. They were yelling at my guardian because why would you let the child out there when you knew it was a storm coming? Everything, like, everyone was so angry. And then my dad shows up, and he's like, I can see his face, he's heated. He just picks me up and just holds me like so tight. Like, you know when you hold like a kid, like your like family member, because they almost, you know, deleted, and you're just like, oh my god. And then I literally asked my dad today, like, does he remember this? And he was like, yes, I remember that. Like, I remember that. That's so crazy to me. Like, I was telling my friend about it, and I'm just like, that's insane. That is insane. I've really survived a tornado, and I remember it so vividly, but I remember everyone being so afraid because, like, I would be scared too. Like, this little girl was out here by herself, just chilling her tricycle. I couldn't breathe. My hair was like all over my head, and I couldn't, like, I was kind of like in shock. And that's what they were explaining to me, like, after it happened. Like, I was in shock, and I couldn't, like, my hair was like all over my head. I remember that. Like, it was just like crazy, and I was just, this is insane. This is like actually insane. But yeah, like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. Who even, like, I don't know. I want to talk to other people who survive stuff like this, because I mean, I've also survived like a blizzard, But I felt like my chances were better in the blizzard. I mean, I guess like some people don't survive blizzard, so I don't want to say that. But I walked home in a blizzard. I don't know how many blocks that is. Maybe like 11 or 12 blocks. It was pretty bad, but I was like a little kid then too. That'll be another story time. But that's just crazy. Like, not me almost getting taken out by a tornado when I was a kid. Thank the universe that I'm still here though. But I remember them telling me that if I was like older, that I probably wouldn't have made it, because when I hit the ground really hard, like when I told you that the street sign broke, or like I couldn't hold on to it anymore, and it like, I think the bottom of it broke too. But anyway, like I couldn't hold on to it. It was like breaking apart, and I flew back and hit the ground like boom onto the sidewalk. So yeah, I don't think I would have probably made it if I was like older, because you know, more body weight, you're heavier. But I was like really little, and they were like, yeah, that's probably why you survived, because there's no way that street sign would have like held me if I was any older. You know what I mean? And it was like branches flying around, stuff in people's yard flying around. It was just crazy to see. Like, it was just insane to look up and see that. Like, I became obsessed with tornadoes after that. My dad probably didn't understand why I was so obsessed with tornadoes. It was crazy. Someone mentioned that to me years later. I had completely forgot I was in it. It was like, you were in a tornado once. So I was like, no. It's like, yes, you were. And I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. Like, that was crazy because I was so little when it happened. But I remember it, though. That's insane. But if you've ever been caught in a storm like that, let me know. The craziest thing about being stuck in that storm, though, is I remember how, like, you know how it sounds like a train? I don't know why I forgot that was a thing for a second. And I thought that was just, like, it was, like, a mix of that and, like, the tornado sirens. And I remember, like, can they turn that off? Like, I'm panicking. And it was just killing my ears. But it was also the storm making that noise. But as a kid, you know, I'm just like, oh, my goodness. Like, it was so loud. It was just, like, unbearable.